Molly, I can't find my keys to the house. Do you mind giving me new keys?
You can't have new keys to the house, Mrs. Smith. In fact, I'm happy you've misplaced your keys. Maybe you can finally stay away from the house.
Your house? Aha! You weren't even born when my husband bought that house.
But I live here with my husband now. You have no right to show up anytime you please, even though he's your son.
Oh, but I have every right, silly. I'm his mom, and it is my house.
No, it's not your husband. Gifted the house to Bob and I as our wedding present. Have you forgotten?
Our? It is you who has forgotten nothing belongs to you. You signed a prenup, remember?
Of course I remember, Mrs. Smith. Unlike you, I didn't marry for money. That's why I didn't hesitate to sign the prenup when you made me sign it.
Say whatever you like, but please give me my new keys, or I'll come and change the locks. I need to see how you've kept the house for the week.
I'm tired of your interference in our marriage. Your relationship with him is unhealthy, and I need you to respect our boundaries as a couple.
Oh, shut up! You're just jealous of the relationship I have with my son.
Mrs. Smith, you have a husband, but you made me sleep on the couch. Throughout the last week, you slept on the same bed as Bob. How is this a relationship I should be jealous of?
Well, maybe when you finally have a child, you will understand. Bob is my only child, and I'll do anything for him.
Including feeding and bathing him?
Of course. A child is never too grown for their parents' care.
This is insane. You need help, Mrs. Smith.
No. What I need is the keys to my house.
I'm never giving you new keys to my house. Please look after your own home. Besides, Mr. Smith and Bob went on a boys' trip. You forget a lot. Bob is not home.
No? I remember vividly because I'm missing my husband. But I'm also missing my son. And I need to make sure everything is in order when he comes back.
You don't have to worry about that. He's my husband, and I'll make sure things are in order.
Oh, shut up, you silly liar. You're useless to Bob. You ask him to do his laundry himself, make the bed, and prepare meals sometimes. In fact, I'm sick of you, and I want you out of the house now.
You must be joking, Mrs. Smith. Where do you expect me to go?
I don't care. I've always hated you, and now you've given me a good reason to finally get rid of you. I'm coming over with some people, and before I get there, you better be gone. And while you're at it, leave the key on the front porch.
For how long have you been planning this, Mrs. Smith? You waited till Mr. Smith and Bob were out of town, so you could throw me out? I doubt they'll like this.
I don't care what they like. I know what's best for them. And I'm doing my son a huge favor by throwing a useless wretch like you out of his life. I'm already sick of your bickering. Just get lost.
You have no right to control Bob's life like this. You need to stop.
I don't care. Don't ever reach us again.
You'll regret this, Mrs. Smith.
OMG, babe, where are you? I just came home and I've been looking all over the house for you.
Well, your mom kicked me out last night.
What?
Yep. She said I was useless to you, and she needed me out. I don't blame her, though. You tolerate this.
Don't say this, babe. I never knew it would get to this.
But what did you expect? Letting her feed and bathe you? Make your meals and have me sleep on the couch while she sleeps on the bed with you?
You don't get it, babe.
Then make me get it.
My mom was diagnosed with narcissistic personality disorder, and it got worse when she gave birth to me. All my life, all I've ever known is her control, because whenever I refused her anything, she does something very absurd.
What do you mean?
She made me skip a full semester at school because I attended a party without her, and this is just a mild example.
Oh my god. Did she go to college with you?
Practically. She'd always come on Friday nights and leave on Monday mornings.
Wow, that is crazy.
You have no idea. I was homeschooled from kindergarten to high school, and I wasn't allowed to have any very close friends.
But she can't keep doing this to you. You're an adult now.
Yeah. I've been trying to make her stop, but she cries so hard, she falls sick, and I sincerely can't stand it when she's ill.
This is worse than I imagined. Why did she let you get married to me?
It's because she saw I sincerely loved you. When I told her about you, and she got furious, I refused to eat or do anything, and she became scared that I may hurt myself.
She only accepted me because she didn't want you to harm yourself?
Yeah. So she agreed to let me marry you on the condition that you sign a prenup.
She knew nobody could love you for the version of you that she raised. That's why she suspected everyone of only being with you because of money.
Yeah, she was stunned when you easily signed the prenup. Since then, she'd been looking for a way to drive you out of the house. That's why she became twice as annoying.
With hopes that I'd get tired and leave?
Yeah, but you didn't. So I guess she got impatient and decided to take matters into her own hands.
Well, she has to be stopped.
Yeah, don't worry. I'll speak to her and bring you back home.
No, don't. I have a plan.
Alright, but where are you? I hope you're safe.
I am safe. I'm at my dad's house at Belliards Drive. Meet me there by 6 p.m.
Okay, babe. I'm coming to you. Please be safe. I love you.
I love you too.
Hi, Mom. Dad and I just got back from the boys' trip.
Now your dad can finally let me live. I always talk about how he needs some time with you. Because I make you spend all your time with me.
Haha. I know you missed me, Mom.
Of course I did. Have you gotten home now, son?
Yes, Mom. But I couldn't find Molly anywhere. Do you know where she is?
No. I chased her away.
Oh, I knew you wouldn't be able to keep up with the slug for much longer.
Right? Oh my god. She became so unbearable I couldn't deal anymore.
Even I got tired of her. She was just so useless. Good riddance.
Exactly. You have absolutely no need for her, son. I'm all you'll ever need.
Of course you are, Mom. She only cared for herself. And I wonder why I even fell in love with her.
Well, I suspect she's a witch. But now she's gone. Her spell on you is broken.
Oh, that explains it. Thanks a lot for saving me, Mom.
Of course. You're my son, and I'll always protect you.
But what about children, Mom? I want to have my own children so I can care for them the way you care for me.
Yes? That's a really great idea, son. I love children.
Yeah, but I'll need a woman to achieve that.
Oh, come on. You don't need anyone. You can use a surrogate or IVF.
Oh, yeah. I didn't think of that. You're so smart, Mom.
Mama knows best. Trust me. Molly and the others are totally useless to you. You won't miss her.
I'm so happy she's gone. She even made me flush after using the toilet. How sinister.
Oh, she's so evil. I gave her a stern warning never to reach out to us again.
That's great, Mom. Thanks a lot for always looking out for me.
I love you, son. I'm coming over now. I've missed you so much.
Alright, Mom. I'll be waiting for you. I've missed your meals. I love you too.
Hello, darling. I've been meaning to tell you something.
Okay. What is it?
I don't know how you take this, but I want to let you know that I am deeply sorry.
Oh, you're scaring me, George. Just spill.
Well, I got someone pregnant.
What? You're kidding.
I'm so sorry, darling. Please find it in your heart to forgive me.
Why would you do this to me, George?
Well, you're always with Bob, and I get really lonely.
This is not an excuse. Bob is our son. Who else would I be with?
Me. I'm your husband. But since you're so busy with Bob, I'm allowed to have fun too.
But I let you guys go on that boys' trip. How could you betray me like this?
Bob kept talking about you throughout that boys' trip. It was miserable. He has no experiences of his own, and he's 28.
What have Bob's life experiences got to do with you impregnating another woman?
Well, I figured since I got married to you, I also never had experiences of my own. So I decided to create some, since you were not giving me any attention.
Oh my god. But you're too old for this, George. Are you a teen looking for attention, fun, and experience?
Well, seeing as I got married to you at 24, I didn't get to have a lot of fun. But it's worse because you've stolen Bob's life. And he'll get to my current age seeking fun at all the wrong places because he didn't get to have any before.
Ugh. You're talking nonsense. Bob has all the fun in the world with me. He tells me all the time.
Speaking about being old, don't you think you're too old to be having fun with Bob? You should join a book club with women your age or something.
Me? Old?
Yes. You're old and wrinkled. And I'm bored of you. That's why I went for a woman half your age.
Okay, now tell me you're kidding.
Oh, but I'm not. Molly is 7 months pregnant with my baby, and I want a divorce and to get married to her.
Molly? Bob's wife?
Well, she's no longer Bob's wife. I thought you both didn't need her anymore.
Oh my god, you're crazy. George! Molly and Bob aren't officially divorced yet, so she is technically still Bob's wife.
Molly and I are serving you and Bob's divorce papers tomorrow. That's why I decided to tell you about us.
This is unbelievable. How can you do this to your wife and son?
Since you both only care about each other, then you can keep doing that. I'll be taking back the house I gifted Bob, and you aren't allowed back here.
No, I am your wife, and nobody can take you away from me.
But you took Molly's husband away from her.
That's not the same thing. Molly is married to my son. I'm not married to hers. He became my son first before he became her husband.
Well, I was your husband first before Bob became your son.
I'll never let you get married to Molly. You're mine.
But you can't cope. You're too old, rude, and weak, and I don't want you anymore. You can't properly care for me while caring for Bob. You'd break down.
I won't. I'm capable. Try me.
No, Meredith. You'd have to choose between me and Bob. Remember, Bob has nothing because you didn't let him live. If you choose him, you'll both be homeless and hungry.
But Molly is already pregnant with you.
I don't care about her. She could go back to Bob. I mean, who cares, right?
What? No. She doesn't know how to take care of Bob. Who'll take care of him? I'm all he has.
He's a grown-up, and he'll learn to care for himself just like everyone cares for themselves. He'll be fine. I'll leave the house to them. But if you don't accept, I'll take everything, divorce you, and get married to Molly.
This isn't fair.
At least you get to feel what Molly felt when you forcefully stole her husband from her.
Huh? I didn't think of it like that. I felt I was only looking out for my son.
Well, now you see how horrible you've been to both Bob, Molly, and even me.
I'm so sorry, George. I choose you. Please. I don't want to be homeless. I beg of you. But you have to pay Molly off so she can go very far away. I hate her. And I don't want her close to us anymore.
I'm sorry, but I can't do that.
What do you mean? Bob can't be with Molly. She's pregnant by you. Don't you care about his feelings at all?
Well, Bob said he doesn't mind being with her. He just doesn't want to be homeless.
He knows about this?
Of course he knows, and he readily agreed to it.
I don't believe you.
All right, then you can ask him yourself. But you have until tomorrow to decide, or you'll be getting the divorce papers.
I've decided I just need to speak to my son before.
All right. I'll tell Molly not to go ahead with the divorce. I'm sorry it had to come to this, darling.
Oh, please! Bob, I can't believe you consented to continue your marriage with that useless slug.
I guess you've spoken to Dad. I didn't have a choice.
Ugh! You have no shame!
Huh?
So you'd rather stay with a woman who betrayed you? I mean, she's pregnant with your dad. Did you know that? If I were you, I'd have chosen to be homeless.
So I guess you chose to be homeless?
I didn't. Because I can't be homeless. Not when my husband has many houses.
So you chose to stay with a man that betrayed you. Someone that got your son's wife pregnant. You have no shame either, Mom. And you're nothing but a hypocrite.
Oh, how dare you speak to your mom like that?
Well, it's because I've realized you've never truly loved or cared about me.
Stop saying nonsense.
But it's the truth. You've always done whatever pleases you, while the rest of us must tolerate it.
You were tolerating me?
Yes, Mom, I was. All you did was encroach on my personal space and practically steal my life from me.
No. I cared for you in a way nobody ever could. Not even Molly. And this is how you repay me? You ungrateful, stupid boy?
Why should I be grateful to you? You made it impossible for me to work or be useful to myself. But you expect me to throw away Dad's offer just because you hate Molly? How do you expect me to survive?
You really are a disgrace. There are so many other homeless people living on the streets. Why can't you join them? Instead, you want to keep being married to someone who's pregnant with your father's child. What an embarrassment.
Well, sorry to disappoint you, Mom. But Molly is pregnant with my child and not Dad's.
Ugh. You're so stupid. I never should have bothered about you.
I'm happy you've finally come to this realization. So you can finally leave Molly and me alone to raise our child.
Stop talking nonsense. Molly isn't pregnant by you. You haven't seen her since I chased her away.
Yes. She is 7 months pregnant. Mom, you chased her out 7 months ago. But you didn't know she was pregnant at the time. I didn't know either.
This is so confusing.
I spoke to Molly the next day, after you chased her out, and I went to meet her. She told me she'd been waiting for me to come back from the boys' trip, to tell me the good news.
You stupid boy! You deceived me. You told me you were happy she was gone.
It was all part of the plan.
What plan?
Molly's plan to give you a taste of your bitter medicine.
And your dad was in on it? You all conspired against me?
We knew it was the only way to show you what a horrible person you are, Mom. And guess what? It worked perfectly.
Oh my god. You're so foolish, Bob. Molly will make you care for yourself and even her. You'd have to work and earn money to care for your child too. And you'll suffer greatly.
Dad cares for himself. He also worked and earned to care for me. If he can do it, so can I. I just need you out of my life so I can start doing these things.
You can't be serious. You did all this just to get me out of your life?
Yes, and it was worth it. I don't ever need you close to my family anymore. So stay away from us.
I'm not going to. What are you gonna do about it?
Well, I guess then I'll have to initiate Plan B then.
What? What is Plan B?
I guess you'll see. We knew you might not learn your lesson even after this, so we prepared for that.
Tell me what Plan B is, Bob.
You'll find out since you refuse to leave Molly and I alone.
Well, if you think this would make me back down, then you're delusional.
Alright then. Watch out.
You wicked swine. I want to see my son and grandchild.
How did you get my new contact? Why are you still stalking us?
I got it from your dad. He told me you guys left the country.
We had to leave because you wouldn't obey the restraining order. And Bob couldn't bear to have you go to jail. But at this point, I think he'd be delighted to have you in jail.
You scoundrel. Give me my son and grandson back.
Try getting your husband back first.
He also has a restraining order against me. And I had to bail myself out the last time I tried reaching him.
Leave my family alone, or you'll forever be in jail. Stop harassing us.
I hate you so much. I regret the day you walked into my family's life. You stole my family away from me. You monster.
You brought this on yourself, Mrs. Smith. Bob warned you, but you didn't listen.
How was I supposed to know? The plan B was for George to truly divorce me? And have you all file a restraining order against me?
Serves you right. You don't need a family. You're sick, and you need help.
No. What I need is a house. I've been living on the streets and sleeping on cold floors.
Mr. Smith warned you, but you didn't listen anyway. There are so many others living on the streets. At least you aren't alone.
Tell me where my son and grandson are so I can come live with them. I also don't want to meet you there. You must be gone before I get there.
Oh. You're delusional. Bob doesn't want anything to do with you ever again.
Well, that's because you bewitched him, you desperate witch. I know if I can reach my son, he'll let me back into his life.
No, he wouldn't. He's very busy, and the last thing he wants is your interference.
I knew it. I told him you'd make him suffer, but he didn't listen.
Well, if you call working a multi-million-dollar company for 6 figures suffering, then I have no reason to convince you otherwise.
You're making my son work while you're useless all day. You better homeschool my grandson when he's of age.
I won't. I don't want to repeat your mistakes on my own child. I'm good. Dan will go to school with his friends. I'll let him live his life and only supervise when absolutely necessary.
You're the most useless mom ever, but you're worse as his wife. I wish my son would divorce you and bring me to care for him and my grandson. I would do a perfect job.
If you are such a useful wife and mother, well, then why do your husband and son hate you so much?
Because you've bewitched them. Everyone knows. No reasonable person in their right mind would be with a woman as useless as you are.
Well, only an insane person like you would be with a woman like you. That's why your husband and son have been running away from you.
I'll reach them someday. Somehow. They're my family and you can never take them away from me.
Good luck trying to reach them. But before you do so, never, ever contact me again. I'll be blocking you now. So, try to stay away, or I'll have to sue you for harassment.
You can never get away with this, Molly. Mark my words.
Goodbye, Meredith.
I'll never forgive you.
My mother-in-law kept trying to reach us, but she didn't succeed. She was always standing close to Mr. Smith's house, watching his every move and going back to the street to sleep each day. After about 3 months, we heard she was being taken off the streets by the government and placed in a mental institution where she was being treated for her mental health disorders. My husband gradually learned how to be independent, how to care and provide for himself, me, and our child. He continues to work at the multi-million-dollar company where he was promoted to CEO for his excellence. As for myself, as a stay-at-home mom, I do my best to look after the home, but I'm conscious enough to put healthy boundaries in place that we all respect. I equally work on learning skills like baking, crocheting, and sewing, and I have a YouTube channel where I teach others these skills. It keeps me busy and stops me from crossing my family's boundaries. My husband and I also raise our son to have a life of his own. We both love, support, and guide him to make the best decisions, but we never interfere in his life to the point of obsession. My father-in-law remarried a few years later to an amazing woman who loves and cherishes him and all that concerns him. And we all meet every Christmas to celebrate and share our love.